Hi everybody, this is foXnoMad, and today I want to help you travel smarter by telling you how to visit CES in Las Vegas, why you might want to go. So here's everything you need to know. So it might seem a little bit odd that I'm making a video about the Consumer Electronics Show, which takes place in Las Vegas in January, all the way here in June. And there are a couple reasons for that. And the first reason is the other day I got an email from CES letting me know that they're going to be opening up the hotel rates, the special rates for visitors to CES on June 18th. And the second thing is earlier this year I went to my first CES and I learned a lot of things. I booked everything last minute. I didn't really have a plan, and I now know that there are a lot of things I would have done differently. It was a really good learning experience for me. There's so many things that I wish I had done that I'm gonna do in the coming year, and this video is to really help you avoid those kind of mistakes, is to maximize your time. So for starters, the Consumer Electronics Show takes place every January in Las Vegas, and it is massive. Over 100,000 people attend. It pretty much books all the hotel rooms in the Las Vegas area, and it's more than a consumer electronics show. They have cars, they have all kinds of gear, luggage, anything you can imagine. It's going to be debuting at CES, and they're pretty much open and live demos for all the attendees that are there. So starting off, if you're planning on going to CES, if you want to take a look, this is about the time of year that you want to start planning. So about June, maybe July, the year before CES. So the first thing you want to look at is if you're in the media or the press, those press passes are going to be made available sometime in about August. So you want to keep checking the website and make sure you sign up on time to get your press credentials or your media credentials, online influencer credentials, and things like that. Tickets go on sale just about around that time too, a little bit earlier. So those are some things you want to keep in mind. But the first thing you really want to do is start looking at hotel rooms. So Las Vegas has the most hotel rooms pretty much of any city in the world as far as I remember, but when it comes to CES, like I said, there are more than 100,000 attendees. CES pretty much takes over the entire city, so you want to get a hotel room pretty early in the process. You don't want to do an Airbnb because there are not a lot of Airbnbs I found around the convention center, and you want to get a place that's on the monorail. So if you get a place that's on the monorail, that monorail will go directly into the main convention center, and it's going to be really easy to get there back and forth. I took an Uber a couple times, but Uber gets stuck in a lot of traffic. It's much slower, it's much more expensive, and it's much more time consuming for you than to take the monorail. Of course, there are going to be lines on the train as well, but they go pretty quickly, so you don't have to wait more than 10 minutes usually in any case, and that takes you directly to the convention center. So to recap, the first thing you want to do is look for hotels that are on that monorail line. I'm going to leave a link to a map in the description below so you can check that out. You can check out some of the hotels. But if you're staying someplace that's off the strip or off the monorail, your best bet is going to be to either take an Uber to the strip, take the monorail in, or take an Uber directly to the convention center. Just keep in mind that it's going to be a lot slower, and to plan your day accordingly, especially around the peak times, which is when the convention starts to get rolling, which is around 9 o'clock in the morning and starts to die down around 5 or 6 in the afternoon. So once you've got your hotel laid out, and again, right about now toward the end of this month is going to be the best time to get those CES discounts. But even if you don't get those discounts, it's going to be a lot cheaper to book them now rather than at the last minute. So once you've got your hotel room and your tickets, and you've got a flight to Las Vegas, or you're driving or whatever, you're pretty much set until convention time. And when convention time rolls around, there are two things that you really need to do. The first thing is to take a look at the entire convention map, which is going to be on their website. But when you arrive on the first day, make sure you arrive early in the morning every day. Make sure you stay as long as you can, because it's pretty much once you're there, it's going to be hard to go back and forth from your hotel. So you want to make sure that you get that map and you plan out your days at the convention. The convention takes place over about 3 full days, so you want to plan what you're going to see, which vendors you want to see, which areas you want to go to. So there's the main Las Vegas Convention Center, which is absolutely massive, but then also there's another convention center which you can take a shuttle bus to. The lines for those shuttle buses are very long, but that's another entire set of CES. So CES has expanded out into this other convention center as well, so you really need to plan out your days. I was going to say, is there a main place to go? Most people start out with, most of the big electronics vendors are sort of in the central convention center on the main hall on the first floor, but you really need to plan it out, because you could spend a couple hours visiting the, let's say, the BMW booth, take a couple of test drives, see what they have to offer, and that could easily eat up a couple hours. They've got their own space in the parking lot, so it's not really close to a lot of things. And then once you get in the convention center, there's so much going on that if you don't have a map, and even with the map, it's really difficult to figure out where everything is. It took me a while to figure out where some of the car manufacturers were because they move around during the show. The information booths are really helpful to guide you to where you need to go. But again, make sure you plan out where you're going to go because you're 100% otherwise going to miss things that you wanted to see. Even if you plan it out perfectly, you're still going to miss things. But planning it out helps you make sure you see the main things that you want to see. And then the second thing in your CES planning is when you're there, it's a good idea to bring your own food. So there is a food court there that does have some good options for maybe better, higher class, it's still fast food, but maybe a step above normal fast food. There are some vegetarian options if you're vegetarian. There's some good Chinese and hamburger stuff as well if you eat meat, but it's going to be really crowded. It's going to be expensive and it's not the best quality food. So if you can, it's better to bring your own food to the convention and make sure that you get all your batteries charged as well, because otherwise you're going to be sitting on the convention floor desperately looking for an outlet like everybody else. And around lunchtime, it's going to be hard to find a place to sit next to an outlet. So those are some of the main things you want to do if you're going to attend CES, which is book your tickets well in advance. Make sure you book your hotel room in the summer before CES. Once you're there, make sure you get something on the monorail. Leave earlier in the morning or before 9 a.m. to get there on time, especially on the first day when you pick up your badge. Second thing you want to do is make sure that you plan out your entire stay there. So you map out the vendors you want to see and sort of a route on how you want to get there. If you go to the second convention center area, make sure you block off a full afternoon for that because going back and forth is going to be more difficult. Typically, if you want to go to that second convention center area, it's better to do it either on the very last day when the main convention center is sort of winding down, or on the very first day before people realize it's there. Sort of in that middle time, let's say between the first day afternoon and the very last day afternoon is when people start going there very frequently. There are not a lot of shuttle buses there, so that's going to take you about 30-35 minutes to get there and back. And then you've got to add all that time in to explore that area as well. That second convention center has a lot of smaller vendors, a lot of more niche products. It's pretty fun, actually. It's a little bit more of the creative side, a little bit products that are smaller, a little bit more out there. So it's definitely worth checking out. Just make sure you plan accordingly. So now that I've gotten that all out of the way, hopefully that helps you if you are attending CES. But if you're not attending CES, why would you want to visit the Consumer Electronics Show? What's in it for a traveler? So first of all, if you love electronics, it's probably the best show for you to visit because it's full of electronics, concept products, new products, existing products. They've got all kinds of backpacks, they've got all kinds of cell phones, laptops, all kinds of cool travel gear, GPS tracking units, all kinds of stuff. If you want to see what was at CES this year on the travel side, you can check out my 2 videos. I'll link to those in the description. You can check those out. But there's a ton of cool stuff for both travel and just people who are tech heads, and it's really a lot of fun. It's sort of designed for companies to model their products that are coming up in the upcoming year, but it's also a place where companies can show off their existing products and talk to people who are into tech. So if you make a lot of videos and you're interested in microphones, you're going to have every microphone vendor there. You can talk to them, you can see what's coming up. If you're a creator, there's a lot of potential for collaborations at CES. And if you just love technology, if you love cars, it is one of the best shows to go to because you can see all of the concept products that are coming up in cars, maybe in not now, not next year, but maybe in like 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the road, so you can check out what's to come. I think CES is a great travel experience. It's definitely well worth a visit. It's not one of those things that you go to and you have a lot of leftover time at the end. It's more like you get there and there's about a million things that you missed and a couple of great things that you saw, and it's a fun experience all around. So let me know if you're going to CES in 2020. I will be there. Leave me a message or in the comments below or send me an email or something, and it'd be great to meet up. I know it's a little bit ways off, but if you catch this video closer to CES, let me know. So I hope this video was helpful if you're planning a trip to CES in 2020. If not, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And while you're down there, hit the like and subscribe buttons. Check out the merch. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.